Hey there guys, it's Metro and we are back again with another range session. This time I've made some dramatic, I don't know, I've been trying a lot of different things here to try to get this figured out with this driver and try to understand what's actually going on here. And I think I've kind of figured it out. At this point, I'm already like an hour into a range session and I just kind of stumbled across something that if I had looked at this footage, I would have stumbled across way earlier, but somehow with this driver, and this is the complete opposite with my old driver, and this is probably what's causing so much inconsistency. Somehow I'm hitting the ball off the heel like so severely. At times I actually hit the shaft. It's unbelievable. And there's times on this session where I've hit the shaft and it goes straight. Like I hit so high up the shaft that there's marks on the shaft now on that connector. And I don't know if it's something to do with the club head or if it's the shaft or what. That never happened before a single time with the old driver. I always hit it off the heel. In fact, if you go back and look, I never really recorded from this perspective, the down the line perspective. I always thought it would be more pertinent to see it the other direction. But today I was like, you know what, let's try something different here. You can actually see the ball being teed up like the right amount too, a lot easier. The few that I pop up severely are because of that. But anyway, I always hit it off the toe. In fact, there was so many times where I hit it off the toe that it would turn the club face, and like I could feel that happening. Like the club would jut to the side here. So today we're seeing the opposite, and I don't know why this has happened with this driver, but what I've started to do is just move the driver further closer to my body. And it doesn't help me. I'm noticing a lot more about like I'm struggling to maintain the same plane. I guess you call it like over the top. I'm coming over the top anyway. But again, I'm trying to limit the variables here and just get better where I can for now. So if this is a problem, then the solution is simply make it so when I do come over the top, I still hit the ball in the center of the club face. And I did that a couple times. It's hard, again, you can't really exactly see where the ball flight goes. This is also easier to see where the ball flight goes, but I hit some that are dead straight and quite pure and maybe even a slight draw. I don't know. It's hard to tell without like some kind of TrackMan type thing. I got to find like, there's got to be some cheap actual thing that I could measure, like side spin and stuff. I don't know if one exists, but they're like $18,000 to buy a proper one. There's got to be an option that isn't 18,000, but that might be one of the best ones we hit all day. So let's take a look at this. Even still, you'll see that the club is still relatively open as it's about to address the ball. And then by the time it does, it turns over and I hit it kind of just off the center, and it sends it it does slice a bit, you could tell just a little bit, but this is a much more appropriate place to strike the ball than where I've been striking it with this club. I wish I'd discovered this earlier, because I knew that I was hitting it off the heel, but I had no idea how severely I was hitting it off the heel. The fact that I've gotten any distance at all doing that is kind of miraculous, I feel like. I don't know how, what that means for the ball, but I can't imagine hitting the freaking hilt of the club. I can't imagine that's a good thing. To hit the shaft and still send the ball in the air is probably, it's kind of nuts actually. So I noticed this immediately. The few times I did make an adjustment that it was hit pure, the ball went a good 15 yards further. So, but still, this is going to happen a lot here. We catch it like really on the inside. The club's almost turning over too early. It's almost to the point where it's hitting the outside of the ball. That's why this happens. This kind of really low, harsh left pull. And sometimes it's so severe that the ball basically dribbles out to the left. And that's also because I've made some adjustments here. I've been watching a lot of videos on swing path and how to kind of idiot-proof your swing path. So you'll see what I'm doing here is I'm trying to turn my hips more. I didn't realize that when I was putting my leg back, like not parallel with the other foot, that's why you were doing that, is so that you were trying to create a more in-to-out swing path, which is better for drawing the golf ball, which I have no hope of doing. But still, it makes it for an easier, like I'm striking the ball, like, and it's hitting a more straight path. And then I saw that like the tip that somebody gave was like the back belt buckle. If you were almost to kind of move that towards the ball, so you really extend, you kind of really turn your hips. And I'm not really doing it. I thought it would be way more pronounced than this based on the way I feel after the range session. I almost, my leg, my left hip almost kind of hurts from doing it. I'm almost kind of surprised. Next time I'm going to go with one of those, like, I have one of those alignment bars. I'm going to put it in my belt and see what the actual alignment is. Because, I mean, first of all, the ball looks like it should shoot dead right. So the fact that I'm able to get it online with what I want, it means that something's going well, I feel like. But I see it's still slicing, which it's impossible. Like, to understand that, I don't know. I feel like I will always slice the golf ball. But I do think a big part of that, and the reason I'm slicing the ball again, or fading the ball, whatever you want to say, is because you could even see I'm hitting it off the inside. And that was one thing I learned too, that like when you hit, like the inside kind of gets pulled through the club, and it's meant to hit the center of the club as the club is turning over almost. So when you hit the inside, you're kind of, you know what I mean? So I think that's why it's fading so frequently, because I'm just hitting the inside, the heel side of the club pretty much every single strike up until I made this conscious adjustment. And now I'm still trying to make the adjustment as we go, but there's a couple that are really well hit back to being dead straight. And like this is gonna be, you're gonna see a couple of these here where the club is literally like in my, I would say it's in position for a practice swing, if anything. And I still, that's my overcompensation for this problem. But of course, we don't hit them all perfectly. Like, so already the face is still open here, but I hit it on the outside of the club, the toe, right? So that's already better. Even though it's slicing and it was pushed, I get so much more distance. These ones that I hit on the outside of the club, they go like a good 10, 15 yards. So there's like a little drainage ditch here. And this is basically like, that's where that ball landed. And that is way farther than I was hitting it. So I don't necessarily understand why that's happening. It's got to be something to do with maybe the weight of the club. But this is the short answer, I think. So we're going to watch all these hits. That was a really good one. Still fading a lot. But I want to show the actual position on the ball here. Yeah, see the club is turning over. I think it's almost, see my path is still terrible though. Now that I see it, it's really bad. Like look at the club like just goes straight left after it touches the ball. And I just don't know how to fix that. Like I've tried so many kind of hacks to fix it, and it helps, but it doesn't get rid of it. Obviously I have to figure that out mechanically. And I just don't know where to start because I don't have any way to guarantee, I don't have any way to prove that it's working. Like I watched on these TrackMan video things or whatever, where it shows your actual swing path somehow. And I have no idea what mine is. I'd imagine it's severe though. But to actually be able to hit the ball straight with that is actually kind of impressive, I'd say. This just feels too far. It's tough to do it. That one I think I just like super pulled. But yeah, and there's a lot at play here today because I was trying this, turn my hips more and trying to keep the whole body oriented away from the target so it's easier to go into out. But I'm trying a little bit too much and it's affecting my stance. And that ironically was, first of all, let's see the actual, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I teed that up. It's really difficult. I don't know, man. I wish that I could go to a proper driving range because look at this ground. I mean, this is just a mess. And it's difficult to actually see where the ball is with relationship to the ground because this grass is all shaggy. And then there's like big chunks out of the ground, you know what I mean? But in general, this is actually a really good strike of the ball. And I think it probably is pretty, yeah, that's perfectly, you could actually see the shadow of the ball. That's what I've been looking at. So it's actually kind of dead center of the club, just way too high. And I pop it up, but it's like, it's pulled a bit, but that's perfect. Because if I start it left of target and it fades at all, it's dead straight, like effectively, even though I lose some distance from the fade, which I am trying to eliminate. This is exactly what I want. This is really good to see this happen. I had no idea. I never would have thought to do this. I actually accidentally hit, like when I was taking a practice swing, I accidentally hit a ball and it was like perfect. It was like, what? It was probably off the toe a bit, but it was like dead straight. I'm like, wait, what the hell just happened? I was getting really frustrated with this because this is now like the third thing I've tried mechanically to try to fix this problem. That one's really bad. Actually, no, but like, look, that is really off the heel, and it's just still gonna go straight. Fade very little. And so this is like perfect. This is like, okay, we might have figured it out. Or sadly, where it took me, I mean, I might have spent like $100 on range sessions at this point now. We're finally back to where the other driver was. So now I've gained like, what, 10 yards, and it took me all this effort. But now that I know what I'm doing wrong with the club, see, that was a big mistake there. That was another thing I'm doing, is like stretching the leg out way too much. And I think we hit a bad one here because it still looks pretty bad. Oh no, not bad. Even the good ones, even the bad ones are good now. So I'm eager. I'm going to play tomorrow. Not going to record it probably just because this is all backlogged at this point. But I'm very eager to see if this is consistent. I also have a big problem with this. I cannot stop gripping the club like I'm trying to choke it out. Like, I don't know how people do it, but I just can't not grip it. That's another good one. Slight fade, but it's so much better. It's like so much square off the club face, and it's hitting a much better part of the club. And I'm still coming in to out or whatever, coming through the inside of the ball, but it's yeah, very gentle fade. And honestly, might be the club protecting me at this point. Like, the fact that I'm still coming, that swing path is so off, and I've adjusted it so much, and it's still just a fade, makes me think that if I was hitting this exact same shot shape on my old driver, it would be a massive slice. And it's just the technology and the driver protecting me against this, even though the driver is also the reason it's happening. So that's another one of those big pulls. But again, that's only probably 20 yards left. And, you know, I'd rather be 20 yards left than 20 yards right, honestly. Because, I don't know, at least at Summit Hills, left is, like, always safe. It's weird. There's a couple times, a couple holes where left is not, but it's way better to be left on most holes. Or more so, it's better to land left. Because if the shot is still fading, it'll shoot into safety. Whereas if I land right, it usually shoots into hazard or thick rough. That's a really good one, though. Pretty satisfying. I'm actually, like, I went from being absolutely, I was ready to just quit golf altogether. I mean, I don't know. I can just keep throwing money at it, like just buy a different club and maybe it'll fix it. But I just don't understand what's wrong with the driver, why this is happening. And I think I finally understand it. Something about maybe the weight of the club, the shaft, I don't know. Something that's considerably different than the old one. And it's causing me to hit on the inside, you know, the heel so severely. And even still, a lot of those. And that's, it's not good. That time I actually hit the shaft. Hold on a second. You might be able to hear that. Yes, you hear that? That's actually hitting the shaft. Let's see if we can see it happen. Sort of. You can see it like hits pretty much right under the shaft. And that's why it doesn't go anywhere, obviously. But again, a much better miss. Or more so closer to where I want to be. But you see how, like, I don't know why that's happening. You can tell, like, the club is starting here and it's ending here. So it's like coming this way, basically. Like, this kind of comes around. That would have been a well positioned. So basically, like, I think like I'm gonna try this even more severely. Like, just take the club even further to the inside of the ball on the takeaway. That one's a little bit. I'm trying to get there's too many things going on. I'm trying to do all these things with my legs, and I don't actually kind of like pick up a bit. Almost like maybe I've gotten away from the original concept of keeping the hands high, and that's why this is happening. That is like, basically I hit the top right of the ball, and that's what just shoots. If there was somebody over here, they might have got hit. Okay, let's watch the rest of these play out, though. There's a couple really good ones, and I want to identify them. They're just so much more consistent, though. There's got to be a way. I guess it's just the camera's not the best. I don't know why it wouldn't be the best, but I guess, you know, the camera's just not good enough to see the ball land. But really, I need some zoom, I guess. I need a person to zoom. Like, I can't, like, it's perfect now, but then as soon as the ball gets hit, I need to zoom in, which is what I see a lot of golf videos do. Okay, this one I'm already overthinking it, you could tell. I'm moving, oh my god, I'm doing all kinds of weird stuff. And that was good. It's definitely helped with the swing path, though, a little bit. It hasn't solved it. I don't think you can solve it without actually fixing it mechanically, but it has helped with it to the point where it's a lot more consistent. Like, the fades were a lot. I didn't hit one slice. Even though I was hitting a lot of really, 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 really bad strikes today, I didn't hit one. I hit one, actually. I remember one. Just started right and went more right. That was the only one. And that one's just teed up too high, I think. Or more so, I hit down on the ball. One thing I say that I did do that a lot today, even when things went pretty well. I'm hitting down on the ball, like to the point where I'm hitting the ground. And you're not really supposed to be hitting the ground with a driver. But it's ironic because one of the times we played recently, I think I have it on footage, I hit the ground first and then hit the ball. And it was actually like perfect. It was like my best drive of the day, so I'm not necessarily sure why that would happen, but it's not as big of a problem as it sounds like it is. Alright, so we got like 16 more minutes of footage, I think, so let's see. Or maybe less than that. There's like 2 more clips. Yeah, so it's kind of just like a gentle fade. Let's see if we can't figure out. It's just a path at this point, but yeah, hits way closer to the center of the ball, center of the face. You could just hear the difference too. Like, the really hollow sounding thing is me hitting very close to the shaft, and like the less hollow it sounds, the more pingy it sounds, the more to the outside of the club I'm hitting. I wouldn't say that's a universal thing, but that's what I've noticed. Like, if it sounds good off the face, that means I hit it either in the center or to the heel or to the toe. And if it doesn't sound good, like if it sounds like I just hit a brick, then that's because I hit it off the heel. And it makes sense because the shaft is probably, like, if this did happen with the old driver, the sound wouldn't have changed because there wasn't this adapter connecting to the shaft. You know what I mean? I don't know how real that is, but that's a pretty big fade. You can kind of see it. Basically, once it gets near that big light thing in the middle there, can't really see the ball anymore. Kind of weird from this angle. It looks like that light is like falling over, doesn't it? Looks like it's kind of leaning. But I think everything is just leaning because the angle of the camera. That was a really good one. Let's see that one, because that was really... Look at that. Oh, okay. First of all, I'm like half an inch away from the ball at this point. This is basically a practice swing. This is where I would used to be for a practice swing. So I don't know if this is a good thing. I can't imagine it is. Not what you'd recommend for a golfer. But it works. It's been working. Just today, really. But it does look like I'm still pretty on the heel here. But you know, the club turns over and kind of hits the ball this way first. So it's better than the whole push thing I was doing, that's for sure. And it kind of straightens out. You know, instead of pushing, or instead of pulling, it kind of slight fade almost at the top of the arc, and then it just lands right where I want it. So we'll see how this translates to... And this is like 100 balls in at this point, so I'm really warmed up. Taking a lot of swings. We'll see how this translates to everyday golf, like when I'm actually on the course, but that's a really good one too. That looked pretty pure. Yeah, that didn't really, it looks like it no fade at all here. I just can't believe how far away I am from the ball. It's basically like the further I get from the ball, the easier this gets, I feel like. Sometimes I overcompensate maybe and pull it even further, but I just need to like trust. It looks bizarre as fuck, honestly. But it's just like, I just got to trust that this is going to work. Like, it's not going to be a problem. You know what I mean? I'm not going to miss the ball or something like that. But who knows? Maybe I will. Maybe this is all something that's just happening today. I found this weird tee, by the way. It's called a consistent tee. A consistence tee. It's pretty interesting. I don't know. We'll see if I continue to use it. Oh, that was a well hit one, though. I'll tell you what. You can tell just by the sound. But it does start out a bit right? I don't know. It didn't look like it was hit very well. But yeah, it's definitely perfect path. Wasn't comfortable talking here because there's a lot of people at the range today and it was only getting busier. I was here for like an hour and a half and it got really... I was here, it was completely dead when I got here. And it was really packed by the end. That one's pretty bad. That's pushed and fading pretty bad. That one I feel like I didn't do anything right there. Like, did we miss that? I ran it. That one I feel like I didn't do anything right there. It's like quite humid out today too, or yeah, was when I was at the range. I still don't know why the tee goes like fucking 6 feet back sometimes. Not sure what's causing that. I'm looking for the tee now. I have no idea where it went. It's like way behind the camera. The ball's starting out more left though, so like one way or the other, this is good. Last time we did a range session, it was all everything was pushed. So I don't know, like that alone is a win. It's so sad that that's the case, but it's just so nice to be able to hit the ball where I want it with this driver. That's such a problem. That one's hit pretty well. Again, you can always tell when it's on the outside of the club because it makes a much more kind of tinny noise. Yeah, much more on the outside of the club. Gentle fade, goes right where I want it. And it might not even be fading as much as I think because this camera is kind of, I don't know, you can tell like that light post is certainly not leaning like 30 degrees or whatever it looks like it is. So there's probably just some, based on the lens or something, causing some weird thing. Saw that coming. Anytime you see all of it, look at all this. I'm like, ooh, come on, I'm trying to do a little salsa here. It's gonna be a bad swing. Just gotta get comfortable. That's the problem. It's all about comfort and confidence, and I don't have that with the driver. On a lot of swings, it's getting better, but a lot of the swings are just not comfortable. There you go. I'm trying to take a more narrow stance. Keep the hand more uniform and a much, look at that, is freaking perfect. Although it's not hit very far. I think I popped it up maybe or something. Actually, I'm looking at the club like I wasn't satisfied with the strike, so let's see. Certainly doesn't look like it's off the heel. I don't know, looked good to me. I didn't like it at the time for some reason, or I didn't like where it hit the club at least. I think I'm looking to see, you know what I need to do? I need to finally crack down and get that Dr. Scholl's foot spray thing that everybody does with golf clubs. What did I say? Yeah, see, I that was a really well hit ball. I need to get that Dr. Scholl's foot spray thing, and then I don't know how safe that is to put on clubs. Like, I see people use it, but there's no way that's good for the metal. So I don't know what I need to do to not have that problem, but this time the club's a lot closer to the ball, and that's, yeah. Not a good result. I just don't know how reliable this is going to be, like if it's real or not, because I never did this before, and all of a sudden I'm noticing it, but I have hit good drives with this club. So there's no way, it must have something to do with the adjustments I made today. Because there's no way that this is just a universal fact that I always hit it off the freaking shaft. I think we're actually almost done here. This last clip must be pretty short. Yeah, it's about a fourth of the size, so it must be pretty short. I start digging into the bag here because I hit a couple really good ones and then a couple bad ones to end it out, and I'm like, nah. We're trying to get one good one here. I got a lot of balls, man. I just find so many balls up Summit Hills. I basically had to just like leave some up there the last time I played because the bag was too filled. It's pretty good. That looks really good. Let's see if we can't yeah, that's like pretty much, that's pretty good. I guess it's the sound, it makes me think it's still a bit off the heel, but it's certainly better than a lot of the other ones. Ball went dead straight. That's all that matters, man. Or at least it ended exactly where I wanted. Not always dead straight, but it's a little fade still. I've yet to see the ball actually draw, which means I'm nowhere close to that, but I don't even care. I really don't. Like, if I hit the club like freaking 200 yards and it's dead straight, that's fine. I don't care. We can make par on every hole with that. Oh, and again, I hit the ball before, or hit the ground before the ball. My spikes look pretty clean at this point, but when I left the range, my spikes were an absolute mess. It was like I had to spend like 15 minutes cleaning them. I wonder how much it is the shoes too, because these shoes are not working very well for me. I've like worn a hole on the inside of the heel. I don't know how I've done that. Something to do with the swing, probably. That's somebody else hitting at the exact same time. Why is it so loud? It's weird. Oh, are we out? Oh shit! Wow, we're done already. Wow, this is shorter than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, I'm digging in the bag now already, and these, unfortunately, these are not well hit. I want to look at some of the iron shots I hit too, though. So we're gonna take a look at that too. Oh, that's the end of that. That makes sense. This is only 2 minutes long, so there's probably only 4 or 5 hits here. That one's pretty good. It's a bit pulled, but again, it's so much better. I'm so happy to see the ball go left of where I'm aiming. I don't know why. I guess I think when that happens, I'm turning it over too quick. I think is what's going on. Or like I'm not doing it wrong, or it's not that I'm doing it too quickly. It's just I'm out of sync basically. So it starts left, kind of ends over here. I'm basically aiming for like right here, or like kind of this area here. So if it ends over here, I mean that's good. Again, way better. I just want to avoid ending over here, because then it just kind of, you know, just keeps going right. If it starts left and goes right, it's in the fairway. If it starts right and goes right, it is gone. You know what I mean? I've lost a lot of balls because of that. Especially oh god, that was a bad one. Especially at Summit Hills, because there's a lot of slopey fairways, and there's a lot of like I don't know, everything on the right side of all the holes is just gone. Like, think about the back nine. If you watch the videos, you'll probably have seen it. Or maybe you can't see it as well as I can because I'm playing the course. But let's say, like on 10, what the hell? On 10, if you're right, you're done. The ball's gonna be like, you're gonna lose so much distance. And I have hit it left a couple times, but I've been hitting hybrid there, so that doesn't help. Obviously, in the par 3s, it doesn't matter. But yeah, pretty much every par... Wow. And pretty much every par 4 on the back 9 at Summit Hills is like, right is dead. Or really, 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 really bad compared to left. So what the hell do I do wrong here? I like hit it like an iron shot. Look at it. Like, it took like a divot. What the hell? That ball just went straight up in the air. I don't think it Probably lands like right here. Probably hit that like 100 yards. The tee's like long gone too. Where'd the tee go? Let's see. Ah, the tee's all the way over there. That's hilarious. I go and get it, I'm pretty sure. So we got some, yeah. Let's see. I'm like, huh, where'd the tee go? Oh, I see it. Let me go get it. Don't hit me, buddy. There's like a guy right to my left. At this point, I'm just completely like, I don't even care. I'm so spent on it. This was a long day. Pretty sure I just pull out a Pro V. Maybe that's not this one. At one point, I pull out a Pro V and I'm like, ah, yeah, I can't hit that one. I really wish I just could get like an all-day voucher for a range. Oh, that is such a good one. Holy shit. It's fading a bit, but it's like right at the target. That's going to land exactly where I wanted to. That's so much better than the old. Man, that is just so much better. Kind of wild. Let's see how far we were from the ball there. Okay, so that's about it. Like, you almost want the club just touching it. I'd say that's probably right about it. There's a lot of shots. I don't know. It's a little inconsistent. There's a lot of shots where there's like a good maybe half an inch in between the club and the ball, and I still strike it well. But I think in general, although it does sound like I hit it a bit off the heel here. It's hard to tell. I wish, again, there was ways to move the camera as I was swinging it, but... yeah, that's a good one. Very good one. And I think... are we done? One more. Oh, no, that's it. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I don't know when I hit that Pro V then. Anyway, so let's take a look. I want to take a look at some iron shots. First, I have to figure out which ones are the iron shots, though, so that might take a while. See some of these, too. Gotta be some good ones. So at this point, I've yet to figure that out. That one's teed up pretty low. Well hit, though. We did hit some better shots than I give myself credit for. I think this must be the iron. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that's when we pick up the hybrid. I think the last drive I hit. Yeah, that one's pretty good. Pretty dead straight. Probably not the last one we hit, though. I remember the last one I hit a good one. I was like, okay, take a break. Let's swing a different club for a bit. See, I'm like really trying to get this hip turned. It's still not working. You can tell my body is still open to the target. But that is just so much better. So much better. It's unbelievable. Yeah, that was the last one. That makes a lot of sense. Wait, what was that noise? What the hell? That's a weird noise. Okay, anyway, now we begin with the hybrid, I think. We don't hit very many with the hybrid, and they're not very good. And now I'm like all out of whack because my swing was like the same way for so long. Everything's fading with the hybrid too. I don't know why that's happening. Not necessarily what I want to see though. I want to see when I hit the iron. I got 7 and 8 iron too finally, so that's just like really bad. I think we hit some off the deck. Let's see some of those, if there's anything worth seeing. Should not have changed anything with the swing though. Yeah, definitely, like, the takeaway is definitely hurting me though. Even though it's these balls are hit well, I think it's like 90% the club. That's why this hybrid is carrying me, because it's like making up for a bad takeaway. The longer the club, that is such a bad takeaway. What the hell am I even doing? Was that real? Anyway, I think I was practicing something there. But yeah, the hybrid basically just, that's why it's so much better than the old one, because this is just like made for not hitting the ball perfectly. See, that's like, I'm coming way across it again too. I don't necessarily know why. Good strike though. The hybrid doesn't treat me bad at all. May not be perfectly straight, but that one's pretty bad. Okay, we try a couple with the iron, right? Oh no, we still are hybrid. We were here for a long time. I forgot how long I was here. I think I was actually here for like 2 hours. Okay, let's go. Where's the iron? Okay, here we go. These are interesting too, because at this point I'm kind of like peak frustration, so they're not going to be that great. Couple bad things. I want to try to figure out why, or at least see it. This is a much better setup though. Hit this pole. I was basically trying to hit this pole, and I actually hit it twice. So that's pretty damn good. This is the 8 iron. It's like really good. To actually be that accurate with this club is actually really impressive. I freaking love these clubs, man. I'll tell you what. These Mavrik irons are like the best purchase. I almost hit really fat. Let's see. I think we'll probably just move on to the next clip.
Basically not hitting the ball.
What do we say? I hit a really bad one here, I bet.
Okay, this is just getting ridiculous now.
Yeah, a couple of really bad ones. Well, I soon turn it on. Honestly, I think a lot of it is just how awkward this land is. It's so difficult to have like flat feet on this ground when you're standing in divots from a decade ago, basically. Wow. What the hell happened there? Just super, I really don't know. It's the worst strike with an iron I've had. Yeah, just slice it, basically. But it turns around. You'd be surprised, but it does. A good one. Trying to tee them up. It's just not worth it. It takes so friggin' long to tee them up in this ground. I don't think I hit any off the tee, like none particularly well, at least. What am I doing? Oh, right. I want to see this, actually. This was like, I'm like, oh my god, I'm just done here. Watch this reaction. It's pretty funny. Where did it even go? Oh yeah, another one that's just like 40 yards to the right for some reason.
Oh man, I'm fucking done.
I don't know. I'm just a little tired too, I think, but that doesn't help. Okay, after this, though, we really turn it on. Again, you'd be surprised. Looks like I'm like giving up golf here. Pretty, yeah, a little thin, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty short. Should land it past the flag, or past that light pole. If I don't, I hit it probably thin or something. Yeah, the big thing I have struggled with, I just can't not grip these things like I'm choking them out. I don't know why. My hands kill me after every range session. And the calluses aren't really getting any better. It's actually getting worse, I think. It's like ripping my hand up instead of creating calluses. I'm shooting it there to see. I think some good ones come up here. It's pretty good. A little too active in the legs, though. You can tell that's not... The ones that I... Like, you can see them in some videos. The ones where I have no leg activity on the backswing, it's just hit exactly where I want it. And it's probably not a good thing to say that, but that's what I've been consistent with, so... Pretty good one. I'd love to see the one that hits the... I don't know when I did it, but I hit that, smacked the freaking pole. So that means like I put it exactly where I want it. I was trying to land it right at that pole, and I actually hit it. It's like a freaking 2-foot pole, probably, you know? 2 foot wide, that is. There it is! How about that? That is freaking legendary, honestly. Let's see the whole swing. Let's see the start to finish. It's like a hole-in-one, basically. Just hit it exactly where I wanted it. Look at the ball flight, so nice. Okay, that's the end of it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.